enjoy watching other people work. So watching the team flow, whether it's the team taking the photos for the cover or the team putting together this interview, I feel like I'm the fly on the wall, but I actually am in the hot seat. So it's fascinating. It's hard when you interview to let go of that control, because interviewing requires a certain amount of control. It requires listening, which is a difficult thing to do when you're having a conversation and you want to jump in. But here I am on the receiving end of being interviewed, being the focus. I'm clutching my hand, so I guess I am a little bit nervous. It's something that I'm trying to get used to and enjoy, and this has been so fun. It's family. You know, I started using the phrase Tam Fam 4 years ago, right before we launched the show in 2019. And that's the feel. I look back at when we didn't have a live audience in studio, about 18 months, maybe a little bit longer than that. And I remember thinking, I can't do this much longer by myself, because the audience, they are my co-hosts in studio. But then I remembered the importance of connection even through a television screen. I was a latchkey kid, so I would come home, unlock the door, and a neighbor would watch to make sure I was in safely. And I would watch TV. And it reminded me, not having an audience in studio, that you can connect through that lens. And you have to really find that beat, that relationship. And I think that's what we have now, and that's why it feels like family. And that's why when I walk around, people don't say Tamron Hall, they say Tamron. And I take that as a badge of honor, because you don't call your friends by their first and last name unless they're in trouble. I don't have a favorite guest or favorite show. I have a feeling, a favorite feeling, right? And that's when you know someone is there, they are present, and they are happy to be on the show and to talk. I've felt it with great people like Michelle Obama, who, you know, we're in Philadelphia on the road interviewing her, and I'll tell you something I've not told anyone. She doesn't even know this. Someone working security overheard her leaving, and she said, "That was a great interview." Obviously, it's an honor to have a former First Lady, and certainly a legendary figure like Michelle Obama compliment your work, but I felt she was enjoying the interview. We also had an amazing grandmom from Jersey who ranked her grandchildren in order, and they would compete to see who was the favorite grandchild. She had a board in her kitchen. I could have sat and talked with her all day long. She'd never been on television. She didn't know what to expect. I don't even think she was an official member of the Tam Fam, but she left a member of the Tam Fam. Listen, listen, listen. You can't listen to, I know we all believe we're great listeners, but for me, I have to sometimes, and if you watch the show carefully, I will remove those questions. I want to be present, I want to listen, and I think that's something that's always a work in progress. With so much frenetic energy around us, I'm a mom, I've got things going on, and for me, that's front of mind, always. I map out the interview before going in. My goal is to know as much as possible about that person. I want you to tell your story, but I also want to help you tell your story. The show is only an hour long. And even when it's a controversial topic, even when it's a difficult conversation, and we've had many of those on the show, I want the person to feel safe and comforted, while also understanding I have a job and a responsibility. My strategy is always to make you feel safe, to make you feel that this is your story, not Tamron Hall's story, not anyone who's watching. This is your story and your chance to tell it. Right now, I practice transcendental meditation. I meditate 2 times a day. A good cup of coffee, believe it or not, something as simple as a cup of coffee revives me, not because of the caffeine, but the comfort. I like to start my mornings off feeling comforted. How you start the day is how you end the day. The minute my alarm goes off, I close my eyes and I have a moment of gratitude. For me, quieting my spirit, quieting my mind, quieting my environment, even if it's just for 5 minutes, refreshes me in a way that allows me to perform at this high rate of speed that's required with a daily show. We tape 187 shows in the season, and I need that reset of my mind and my soul. I have a phenomenal makeup team, let's be honest, and hair and makeup, they do wonders. I tell my makeup artist, Raul, who's phenomenal, we do have a basic Tamron Hall face. And what I mean by that is we find colors that he believes look good with my skin tone and can be worn with any outfit. Fashion is a big part of our storyline with the show, and that was very intentional. So with the fashions being as colorful as what I have on right now or what we wore in the photo shoot, it's good to have this basic face that complements your skin. And then Johnny has been my hairstylist since he was 20. The reality is I'm a woman over 50, but we try to keep it youthful without me pretending. You know, I think there's sometimes that pressure to look cool or look a certain way. There's no pretense here. This is what I feel most comfortable in, the makeup, the type of makeup, the layers of makeup, and the hair. And I think that I would recommend that to anybody. Find your space, find your lane, find what's comfortable for you. I'd say when I do my own makeup, I have a 15-minute rule. I put my makeup on in 15 minutes because I think after 15 minutes, I start to find things wrong. I start to overthink things, and then before you know it, I've walked out with rosy cheeks and big brows that don't look right. Oh, it's the bet on yourself theory. I always believed that, but it wasn't put into real life action until I was 48 years old, and I lost my dream job, or what I thought was my dream job. And here I was, a woman, 48, not sure what that would mean in this industry that certainly has learned to embrace age more. But let's face it, I'm being honest, at 48, there was a time in my industry that was seen as on your way out. That's not the case today, but there's still, you know, it still lingers. So for me, when I pitched this show, I looked at the television landscape and I said, I have to bet on myself if I'm going to continue. So I doubled down on social media and letting the audience get to know me through social media. And I used that template to create this show. So that's become my mantra in everything. Becoming a mom at age 49, getting married later in life. Anything, I lead with betting on myself, and that doesn't mean eliminating others, because I could not do the Tamron Hall Show without this phenomenal team of people from all walks of life, all backgrounds. The biggest things that stick with me are moments where I felt something, and I believed it was right, and I didn't do it. And I chose not to bet on myself. The day I walked out of the Tamron Hall Show doors, I became a new me. It was a job that I wasn't expecting, but then here I was with a talk show with my name on it, with a team of people working together to create this conversation. But it was also the age, right? I'm sure if somebody asked me at age 27, 28, could you host a talk show? I probably would have said, of course I can. Can you tell? I talk a lot. But I wasn't ready then. I wasn't ready at 35, wasn't ready at 38. The universe knew I was ready at 48. It was a rebirth of my authentic self, I think. And that's why, you know, we launched with Let's Talk About It. That's why our season premiere of season 4 was Living My Life Like It's Golden. That means I hope that I am projecting a light of positivity and a light of resilience and joy each and every time I walk out of that studio. I think my goals and priorities have remained the same when it comes to the show, which is to put on a show that people really forget that it's an hour, that the time goes by, because we are having fun, if we're going to quote the cliche, but also we're learning in that hour. We are feeling like a community. That was always the goal. When I pitched the show and went into different studios to say what the vision would be, I thought of this family. I later called them the Tam Fam. But for me, the goal has always been to make sure people don't feel that they've wasted their time, and that they walk away with something, even if it's as simple as a smile.